Good evening, beloved children. This is your group Souls Arena. We are so delighted to be here partaking in this beautiful group experience, the levels of excellence that we receive here as all pieces of the pie that we are. We feel well served, we feel well met, and we feel evenly distributed. Which brings forth our first topic. We were working with your channel today as she was walking back from a walk with her dog, and we began to talk to her about the internal justice system. And the internal justice system is something that we would like to begin tonight's discussion with, providing you some examples of what the internal justice system is all about. So you are well acquainted with the external justice system. This is the wheel of action in your court system. And right now you are experiencing quite a lot of energy in your external justice system, in people who are being pardoned and people who are being accused, etc. And then there is the broad external justice system, which is the wheel of justice upon which the entire universe rotates. You've sometimes called that the wheel of karma. We would like to refer to it as the wheel of balance, and that beautiful, lovely sense of when all is said and done, everything really, truly is balanced in the macrocosm. But let's come down deep now into the microcosm, into the internal justice system. This internal justice system, as our teachers in spirit have been proposing to us, is at the micro level, meaning it is very, very small. You might experience it in your physical bodies at the molecular level. It is that internal justice system that helps your body to stay regulated, to complete homeostasis, the movement of water in and out of the cells, creating beautiful balance. It is also in the fibers of your spiritual being, the internal justice system. And here there are many tiny little levers at work. For whether you are aware of it or not, in that you are constantly evolving. And when we say you, we mean us, because this is all of us, in that we are constantly evolving. There are many tiny little levers of justice, of balancing, that are always being moved deep down within us. This comes from a deep internal resolve to always be forgiving, to always be rectifying, to always be balancing. And it is happening at a very small, delicate level, almost subatomic, you might say. So small, so subtle, that you might not even be aware of how your internal justice system is constantly working. And what we've been hearing from our teachers in spirit is that it is constantly working. They are asking you to think of your internal justice system as a series of levers, which you are always, always pushing. Let me push upon this lever, bringing forth this divine ability of mine. And so a lever is pushed and divine curiosity is called upon, and divine curiosity begins to work through the system at a very tiny, tiny level, moving through the system, fiber by fiber, cell by cell, each cell asking a divine question coming from holy curiosity, and each fiber of spiritual being asking a holy question, a sacred question. And this process is ongoing. It is trustworthy. You can trust that the internal justice system, that you have come here to this earth plane with a willingness to always be in abeyance with and to always be fluid with, that you are always responding to your internal justice system. Your internal justice system, teachers are saying, is what allows you to know when a relationship is complete, for instance, or when a job is complete, or when it is indeed time to find a new place to live, or when it is indeed time to say, my daughter's life is her life, and I can no longer exert undue authority over her. These tiny little levers are always at work. And as they are always at work in each and every one of us, our team, our teachers in spirit are reminding us that they are always at work in the universe at large and for the comfort of our well-being tonight. They are always at work in the soul consciousness of this country that we are living in, whether we know it or not. Our internal justice system, the justice system that is always, always working to bring to completion certain energies that are destructive or false or useless or magnetize anger or hatred, that the internal justice system of the entire soul fabric of this country is always working to balance things out. You may not hear that in the news. You may not read that in your newspapers, but we want to assure you that teachers in spirit have been talking to this channel about the internal justice system pretty much all day long, starting with your own bodies and then your particular soul fabric, the soul fabric of your country, the soul fabric of the world, and the soul fabric of the universe. We would like to leave that thought with you for just a moment. We are gathering speakers, and one of the first speakers who has asked to come and have audience with you is a beautiful folk hero from many, many thousands of years ago. You know him as Abraham. He has since had many, many incarnations, and he has come to speak to you about your topographical map of where he believes you and we are. And so if you will join with me, your group Soul Serena, in giving Abraham your love and your light, we will withdraw so the beautiful patriarch may come forward. I thank you, dear sisters. Although I am no longer a patriarch, I have since morphed into a matriarch, believe it or not, since I have had many, many incarnations since I was last known as the patriarch. What I wanted to speak to you tonight is about the deep meaning of come to a land that I will show you. If you are familiar with the story as written about me, And who is Abraham? Oh, we don't really know. Was there such a soul? Maybe, perhaps. I have an identification with that soul. I remember being that fellow a very long time ago. And I remember hearing a voice deep within me that said, leave everything that is comfortable, leave everything behind, and come to a land that I will show you. And at the time, it was very confusing because I did have a comfortable life. I had wives, I had children, I had cattle, I had farmland, I had everything. I didn't want for anything. I was rich, I was satisfied, I was even a little fat. I could have stood to have lost a few pounds during those days. I had no idea that indeed I would be becoming leaner and truer as I answered the call to the journey. I bring you back into the map of my story, standing with me in the land that in your Bible is called Ur or Chaldea, standing with me there and hearing that call, come to a land I will show you. And despite not really knowing where I was going, setting out with the belief that I would be shown somehow. Sometimes my journey was treacherous. Sometimes it showed me the deeper recesses of my heart and that I was capable of horrible things, of betraying my own wife and my own child. There were many times when I wondered if I would have been better off if I had stayed in the land of Ur, fat and happy and successful in quotations. But in the long run, I chose to follow a voice that said, come to a land I will show you, and stay in the present moment and keep going. And because I kept going, even though every single step was an utter mystery, and I really had no idea what the final plan was or what the final vision was, because I kept going, I was able to bring my ancestors to a place where they flourished and where they wrote incredible things and composed music and planted beautiful fruit trees and grew spiritually and kept growing spiritually until we were able to abolish child sacrifice. And so if you think of my journey, and if you think of the journey in terms of responding to a voice that says, come to a land I will show you, and that journey ending with the abolishment of child sacrifice, that should show you something of the beautiful internal metaphysical quality of where you are, all of you, where you are right now. All of you are Abraham, you see. All of you are. And I am bearing witness to you. I am watching. And I am hearing as you listen to that internal call. You know the divine is calling you. You hear the divine saying, come to a land I will show you. And it is a mystery. You do not have a script. You do not have a map. There is no way of knowing exactly what will happen. And yet, each of you are putting one foot in front of the other in total faith, obeying that call. I predict, my dear beloved friends, that just as for me, one of the triumphant endings of my journey of faith was the abolishment of child sacrifice, for you, the triumphant ending of your journey is the abolishment of cruelty in any form, or the sacrifice of certain citizens deemed unworthy. You right now are bearing witness to a system of government that clearly is not seeing human beings at their depth, but making sweeping generalizations. These people should be sacrificed. These people should be let go. These people should be fired, and so forth and so on. Can you see how there is a parallel to what in my lifetime was obligatory child sacrifice? It's something that we felt obligated to do, that God would tell us, sacrifice your child. You know my story well. I was about to do it, and the angel stayed my hand and said, do not harm the child. This then was the real culmination of my journey, the realization that I was a better man than the individual that had begun way back in when I thought I had everything, when I was fat and successful, that I was a better man because of this journey. I know it's painful. I know it's hard. I know it's confusing. But I have been watching you, and I want you to know, my dear beloved sisters, that you are in an incredible journey, an epic journey, a momentous journey, a journey that already is changing you, already is fomenting within you deep, beautiful change. It's already happening. I hear you speaking of it. I am glad for you. And I know that as the collective Abraham that you are, that when you come to the end of your journey, you will feel the angel in you rising up and saying, do not harm the child, do not harm the immigrant, do not harm the LGBTQ person, do not harm the dark-skinned person, do not harm the person that did not vote for Donald Trump, do not harm the politician that is brave enough to stand up and say no, do not harm the disabled, do not harm anybody. Show mercy. This, my dear ones, is what is developing for you. You are a part of my journey. I am a part of yours. And I promise you, although there are many ups and downs, and like me, you may discover parts of yourself that you are not so keen on. You may find aspects of yourself that you wish you hadn't stumbled into upon this journey, but it is all part of that magnificent treasure that lies for you at the end of your journey when you realize, I have become a better person for it. And I am a part of the voice of the collective that says, do not harm the child. And so I'm proud to be a part of you. I am a part of your collective, just as you are a part of mine. I mentioned to you that I had since moved into matriarchy. Does that please you? I can feel that some of you are smiling or laughing. Really? The patriarch became a matriarch? Oh, yes, indeed. Several times over. I wanted to make sure that I was a genuine leader and not a leader with false bravado. And so I have moved into the maternal line often. And then I will step back into being male, but I find myself more often these days leading from the feminine energy and leading from the sidelines, being that kind of coach that says, come to a land, you will be shown. There is no map, there is no GPS. There is only the divine light that you are. And thank you for being willing to risk everything to take on this epic, beautiful journey. And thank you, my dears, for listening. Bless you. Shalom. And this is your group Souls Arena, and we wanted to thank the patriarch Abraham, or the matriarch, for coming in and speaking so beautifully and eloquently to us about this epic journey that we are on. We are now getting ready to bring forth some speakers who were working with your channel today, disclosing to her in a download some truths about Donald Trump and truths about yourself. And as we see that Master Teacher Emmanuel would like to come forward and do some explaining, and he has brought his blackboard with him, so he is ready to teach. And aren't we so blessed? We withdraw and we bring forward Master Teacher Emmanuel, and as we do so, please give him your love and your light. Good evening, students. This is Master Teacher Emmanuel. I call you students lovingly because each and every one of you is a teacher, are you not? And you have taught me many things as I have been listening in your echo chamber, taking up residence with you in your prayers, in your thoughts, in your walks, and in your talks. I was working with this one today, helping her to understand some teaching about what parallel universe is and what it means about the birth of love in your country. And I wanted to bring forth to you a disclosure about the man that you called Donald Trump. And you recognize him in this universe that you are living in. You recognize him as that guy with that hair and that funny looking skin and that way of speaking. You recognize the voice and you have identified firmly, okay, that is Donald Trump. And now if you will look at my blackboard, I'm drawing a picture for you of Donald Trump. It's kind of a cartoon image, isn't it? I'm not very good with drawing, so please forgive me, but you get the idea. And now watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to spin that blackboard around, and as I spin it around, I am inviting you into a parallel universe so you can see who Donald Trump is in a parallel universe and who his parallel is. And may I introduce to you this lovely woman who comes forth with a guitar. She sings. She describes herself as a minstrel. In her universe, she is also a celebrity. She is also incredibly magnetic and charismatic. She is also able to draw crowds. But in her universe, she is considered the composer of the gentle. This is Donald Trump's opposite. And this is Donald Trump's opposite quality of soul, moving in parallel universe, having her own experience of bringing souls together. In this parallel universe, this one that we will call perhaps Dolly, for lack of a better word, you may think of Dolly Parton right away. And that's good enough. For this is a soul that also plays a guitar and has a beautiful voice and knows how to bring people together, and has often caused entire groups of people to take naps together, to fall asleep together. She has sung versions of Rock My Soul Yes, in the bosom of Abraham. Yes, in this parallel universe. She has brought people together and comforted them. This is the other aspect of Donald Trump. She has beautiful hearing, where the Donald Trump that you know in this universe has a kind of what you might call a tin ear and is often deaf to the pleadings of souls. The Donald Trump in the other universe has a beautifully tuned ear and is able to hear the sorrows of others and bring great comfort. When she was told that she would be a part of tonight's exercise and that she would be seeing into the flip side of her being, she was afraid. And she asked me, Master Teacher Emmanuel, is this really necessary? I'm not sure I want to see what's on the other side of the blackboard. I'm not sure I will like what I see. I assured her that the journey is not always something that we like, but it is something that we come to love. And that eventually the two sides of this soul will meet and merge in one classroom, and they will complete each other. And we will no longer have in Donald Trump an autocrat, nor will we have in our Dolly someone whose sole job it is to bring comfort to people. But we will have a soul who is willing to inspire people to a new realm of justice, true justice, real justice. This happens when the Donald you know and the Dolly on the other side in the parallel universe find each other at the end of their lifetimes, and they surely will. And when they find each other, they will come to know each other, and they will collapse into each other's energy, and they will create a new soul form, a soul form that is good for this planet. This is a long time in coming. And what I wanted to explain to you as your teacher tonight, that this is a phenomena that we see with very young souls. Young souls often have a counterpart in a parallel universe so that they may get a lot done in a relatively short period of what you call time. Older souls do not need to do this. All of you here are older souls. You do not need to have a reflexive pattern of yourself in another universe. You are able to get your homework done, all of it, in one universe. So this is a unique attribute for a younger soul. And both of these aspects, Donald and Dolly, they are both very young in their being. I was urged to bring this forth not only to help you understand the current psychological temperament of this particular autocrat, but also to help you understand what is underneath. The beautiful comforter that is underneath. These two, the autocrat and the comforter, will find each other. They will blend and they will create a new harmony. Our job, dear souls, is to keep remembering this truth, that when we look at Donald Trump, and I'm going to flip the blackboard around again so you can see my cartoon image. There it is. When we look at Donald Trump, we are not seeing the all of him. We are seeing a cartoon image, and it does not display the depth of what he is or eventually will be. Thank you, all of you, for paying such beautiful attention. I'm going to put my blackboard away and I'm going to move off to the side of your beautiful Zoom room, and I'm going to bring your beautiful soul group Zarina forward so that she may further the discussion. Much love to you all. Don't forget the flip side of the blackboard. Thank you. Bless you. And this is Zarina. And we are have been tapped on the shoulder, and Cecilia's Uncle Joe would like to come forward. And he is very grateful that Cecilia is here and that she remembers being called Ramona. And so we are going to withdraw and allow Uncle Joe to speak. Hi, everybody. It's a little odd for me to be doing this. I'm not quite used to it, not sure what I'm doing, kind of getting my feet wet here. Ramona, hi. You look fantastic, as always. Um, I often think of you, you know. I often think of you. I see you not through a glass darkly, but I see you clearly for the amazing soul you are, the bluebird that you are. I think that in my earth life, I'm not entirely sure of the impression that I left behind, but I wanted to let my niece know, and all of you know, what it is that we are thinking as we process what's happening with our beloved country. Frankly, it feels as though you all are being run over by a truck. It feels kind of violent from time to time. But I wanted to reassure you that there is so much more to that feeling of being run over or overwhelmed or taken off guard, that there is so much more happening. I am there, standing by the side of the road, wearing my safety vest, making sure that everybody is safe. I am there, and so many others of your ancestors who walked these streets and loved this country and devoted themselves to this country. So many are here. And we are all partaking in a beautiful gathering. I would love for my niece to know that I have developed the ability to sing, and I am singing at the top of my lungs. I actually have a very pretty voice these days. And what we are doing is we are gathering and we are singing the old hymns that helped bring forth the idea of democracy. We're singing them all. And we're not just singing the hymns that the white people brought over, we're singing the hymns that the Native Americans sing, the chanting. We're singing things of unity. We stand and we sing, we gather and we sing. That is what we are doing to help you through this time of that feeling of being run over by a truck. I want to talk to you about what I've noticed about the speed and the velocity of the truck, otherwise known as this current administration. What I have noticed, and I've been able to switch focus back and forth, earth focus, what you call fourth dimension focus. What I have noticed is that it's actually moving very slowly. I know for you, it feels as though it's moving very quickly. I want to assure you that there is much more that is in slow motion that is happening. And there is so much that will be able to be halted and changed and redirected. This is what it feels like for me and for lots of us who are in what we're calling the gathering as we stand together and sing the old songs, helping to bring people together. I want you to know that I'm very proud of my country, and that I and so many others just like me are holding on to that pride because of what we are seeing coming forth, what we are seeing being born. And I'm asking you to still hold your pride for this country. And I'm asking you, Ramona, as you do your beautiful work, to maintain your pride in the country. This matters. The more pride you have in your country, even though if it feels as though it's falling apart, if you maintain your pride, that is like a brick in the building of democracy, and just holding that pride no matter what. And maybe you're proud of the fact that you helped your neighbor out. That's enough. Hold that pride. But that kind of beautiful pride that is binding is what holds the temple of democracy strong. All right, this was an interesting experience. I had no idea what was going to happen. And it's awfully good to see you, my dear. Lots of love to you. Keep up the good work. And thanks for allowing me to come in. I guess I say thank you, bless you. Okay. All right. See you around. And this is your group Soul Serena. And we wanted to thank Uncle Joe for coming in and speaking to us. We have one more beautiful speaker who has asked to come forward. You have heard her speak before. It is the beautiful Lady Nada, and she is coming forward. And so we withdraw. Please give Lady Nada your love and your light. Good evening, beautiful ones. Now it is the evening. There is something remarkable about evening time or eventime, the time of evening. There's something remarkable about what we used to call even song, the songs that we would sing in the evening. There is something remarkable about holding your peace as the sun is setting. And I want to speak to you about evening for your country rather than darkness. Darkness is something that may feel as though as something that happens to you despite your not necessarily wanting to participate in it. We speak of the darkness coming, or here comes the darkness, a feeling of being pulled into darkness. But the evening is something that we willingly participate in, isn't it? Oh, how lovely is the evening when the bells are sweetly ringing, ding dong, ding dong. There is a sense of beautiful music and beautiful song as we willingly participate in the evening. It is the evening of your country. Your country has lived one full day. It is now the night. It is useful to think of the lifespan of your country in terms of the days as described in the book of Genesis, the 6 days of creation. And on the 7th day, we rest. This is the end of the first day of your country. And it was morning and it was evening the first day. This is written in your text. This is the evening. It is not something to be afraid of. It is rather something to move into, to breathe into, to surrender into. and to acknowledge that it will be followed by the next day. It is a beautiful reminder that what happens in the evening is the regrouping of psychologies. It is the regrouping of your mental framework. It is the time to dream beautiful dreams that knit back together the structure for the following day. Oh, how lovely is the evening. Oh, how lovely is the evening. Stand in the evening with me. Stand here in the evening of the first day of your country, knowing that there are many more days to come, knowing that you are about to move into the second day of your country. As you move into the second day of your country, you will begin to know and realize that day two will be about relationship, will be about justice in relationship, will be about balance between water, emotions, and dry land, hard beliefs. Your second day is coming. You have but to walk through this evening, holding the knowing that your country is not finished in its creation, not by a long shot. This is your genesis. This is your beginning. And this is about to be day two. As you feel yourself mutually agreeing to walk towards the evening rather than darkness falling upon you, as you make the agreement to walk towards the evening with your arms out and your hearts softened and your minds open, you might begin to notice that you are remembering the origin of your divine being, that a very, very long time ago, you called yourself into being. You said, let there be light. And there was light. And there was day. And then, dear ones, the evening fell, only to be met by another day. Do not be afraid of the evening. It is host to so many gatherings and so many mendings and a beautiful, vast network of souls coming together in the evening. As you dream, know that the evening is carrying you forward into a bright day. Have no doubt that you are not at the ending, but at the beginning of a new country. Have no doubt that you are not at the ending of democracy, but at the beginning of a newer democracy, a democracy that is able to hold its head high, a democracy with wings that stretch out and cover everyone, a democracy that is safe, a democracy that is trustworthy. Beloved ones, be not afraid. You are bearing witness to the evening. And if you are brave, you can see that there is great beauty in this evening. Great beauty. Be not afraid to see it. It is, as your group soul, Zarina, described to you, your internal justice system. Tiny, tiny movements happening at the molecular level of your being, dispelling fear, bringing peace. You are deeply, deeply loved. I withdraw. And this is your group Souls Arena. You may be feeling already the presence of Buddha who has come in, who is simply sitting here, asking us to sit with him. And so as we sit with Buddha, we are noticing a golden energy moving up from the soles of our feet into our knees, into our thighs, into our pelvic cradle, into the base of our spine, into our heart chakra, our throat and our shoulders, into our eyes, and to the top of our head. We notice that we are now the golden Buddha, that we are alive with an alchemy of being that allows us, via our deep peace and stillness and trust, that allows us the pleasure and the joy of bearing witness to the alchemy that is taking place right here and right now. We are the golden Buddha, and we are sitting tall. We are the golden Buddha, and we are transmuting energy now. We are the golden Buddha, and we always have been and always will be. And as we fold our hands gently in our lap, we remember that we are the golden Buddha and we have come here to be in physical bodies. And so we remember what it feels like to have 5 fingers on each hand. We remember what it feels like to have toes that can be wiggled. We remember our knees. We remember that we are human beings with eyelashes that have been counted by all the loving energies of the universe. We remember as the golden Buddha that we are, that our everlasting task is and always has been to bring love where love appears not to be, and to bring light into the deepest evening of our being. Bless you, dear ones. You are being invited forward. Rock yourself gently, gently, gently. Move yourself from your sleeping position and bring yourself gradually to your waking alert state. As you do so, know that you are not only deeply loved, you are deep love. And that is all that is needed for now. And we bless you. Namaste.